Here are 6 reasons why Tesla's share price could drop to $200. In this video, I'll touch on 3 things. Number 1, the latest news with Tesla. And number 2, we'll look at the ratings in Tykr. And number 3, I'll let you know what I plan on doing with the stock. And just so you know, if you want to see the ratings on Tesla as well as other stocks in the market, you can join Tykr for free. All right, let's get to the latest news. Top of the list would be what's called the Robotaxi reality check. Well, looks like there were 14 Robotaxi crashes in Austin, and that has increased the regulatory risk significantly with the Robotaxis. We're not talking months to start making a lot of money here. It could be years. So do keep that in mind. All right, next up, the manufacturing pivot that's happening right now. So looks like this year, Tesla will discontinue the Model S and X, and they're going to focus on the Optimus robot, and it looks like a capital expenditure of about $20 billion for the physical AI. So we're looking at a huge investment. And as far as the revenue to be generated, again, this is not going to happen this year. This could be years down the road to start making some money with these robots. And then this leads up to the next item on the list, which would be, what are large financial institutions saying? Well, Wells Fargo and GLJ Research are very skeptical of Tesla at the moment. They're actually targeting a share price of $125. All right, the news isn't looking too good with Tesla, but let's move over to Tykr, see what Tykr has to say. We're going to use a feature in Tykr called the 7. It's essentially an easy button that rolls up everything you really need to look at, and we're trying to get a score between 5 and 7. Before we get there, I want to show you something here. If you go to Tykr.com, go to education and then down to calculations, we do have open source calculations so you can see how a lot of these ratings are achieved. Our goal is to create transparency and increase trust. All right, so let's get to it here. We're going to walk through the 7. The first step in the process would be the summary. This is kind of like the traffic lights. Stocks are either on sale, watch, or overpriced. That's green, gray, or red. And only about 15% of stocks in the market make it to on sale. Well, in this case, we can see that Tesla is a watch. All right, next up, we are looking at the score. And to get to a summary of on sale, you need a score of 50 or higher. You can see here, we just barely beat that at 51. This is overall financial strength of a stock. And if you're curious, you can click these little how it works buttons and you can see how Tykr works. But anyway, we're going for 50 or higher right here. And then the margin of safety, we want to see a 50% or higher. And the margin of safety is driven by the number one most important line on the financial statements, which is the EPS, essentially the profits of the company. We can see here, very low margin of safety, which means the profits of Tesla are not increasing significantly. We'll take a look at that in a second. So we can see here we are watched because yes, we do have a score over 50, but we're below 50 over here on the margin of safety. Now, if both were above 50, then it's on sale. And if both are below 50, then it's overpriced. So that's why we're in that middle category of watch. All right, we move to the 4th step of the 7. We're looking at the 4M confidence booster. We want to see an 80 or higher, which is actually pretty hard to achieve. We're actually at a 77 here, so that's not too bad with Tesla. Essentially what this is doing, it's reducing hours of research down to seconds. If you click the boost confidence button, you can see what those 4Ms are. You get the math part, which we just went through, that summary, score, margin of safety. Then you get the meaning, that's the business model. How does it make money? How many revenue streams does a business have and how scalable are those revenue streams? Then you get the moat, how it compares to other businesses in the same sector and industry. And then you have the management, that's the track record of the CEO. We're not going to go through this here. You can go through it on your own, but we can see the averages from the Tykr community and we can see, again, 77. That's actually not too bad. Next up, we get the 5-year returns. Now we know that past performance does not guarantee future results, but a nice round number to remember is 80%. That's typically what the S&P 500 returns over 5 years. So we like stocks that consistently beat the market. In this case, Tesla, not even keeping up on the market. It's at 65% over 5 years. Let's keep going. We're going to the financials. And in this case, we want to see the revenues increasing, but more importantly, we want to see that EPS increasing. Again, that's profits of the company. When I did a lot of work with a lot of large companies, when I get into those boardrooms, the number one conversation topic are profits. Are we increasing profits? If that's what executives are focused on, that's what investors should be focused on. And the line you want to pay attention to is EPS. So revenue, check this out. Very flat. We do see a slight increase here, but go to EPS, check this out. This is not what you want to see with a business. Sure, we had a big spike, looks like December of 23. They're probably doing some kind of sale, end of year sale, maybe Black Friday or something. But then it's pretty much fallen off a cliff after that. In fact, look at this. It continues to decrease. Looks like the last 2 quarters not looking good at all. So to keep that in mind, Tesla investors, this right here, this does not give large financial institutions confidence. You want businesses that are increasing the EPS because that's when they put a lot more money into the market. When you see this, that's when institutions are like, yeah, we're going to move on to something else. It's just, that's how the market works. Everything really boils down to EPS. All right, one more line to take a look at, and then we're going to click on the 7 and see what score we get between 0 and 7. All right, moving on to the last step here, earnings calendar. We want to see a stock that's consistently beating its earnings estimates. We want to see 3 quarters in a row. In this case, we see only 1 quarter. Prior to that, they had a miss. They did beat it prior to that, but then you can see a few misses here. This is very inconsistent. We don't want that kind of business on our portfolio. Again, a lot of institutions, when they're holding a stock and that stock misses its earnings estimate, guess what happens? In most cases, they're selling off a lot of shares. All right, those are the 7 steps. Let's go ahead and click on the 7. Again, we're going for 5 or higher out of 7. We're going to see what we get. And in this case, we can see a 1 out of 7. You can see what it's done here. We've got the summary. We've got a miss there. We get the 51. We just barely hit that 50 mark, but then everything else is a miss. So right there are 6 reasons why this share price could drop to $200. All right, so what am I doing with this stock? I'm going to keep this stock on my watch list. I do not hold Tesla in my portfolio. I have to make a few comments here. And again, this is just my opinion on Tesla, but the first item would be on the Robotaxis. I do agree with a lot of these articles out there. There's analysts talking about how long this could take. It's definitely going to be years. And based on regulatory risk of like you putting your life, in control of a car that's driving down the road and you don't have control of the wheel. I mean, this could be a long time before Tesla really starts making money. The regulatory risks are just so high, especially when you had a few crashes in Austin. Yeah, this is going to be a minute. All right, then next up, I have to give my 2 cents here on the robots. So I'm seeing, prices that could be like over $10,000, $20,000 or whatever. And I have to agree with them. There are a few people have talked about the perfect robot actually already exists in our homes. That would be a dishwasher, if you own one, a washer, a dryer. They are ergonomically built. Now, I come from a background in manufacturing, and I have to say this, it is a lot easier to build something that has flat panels. It's easier to assemble. It's less expensive to manufacture. So the perfect robot actually already exists. It's square or square-ish, fits into the perfect spot. You can put things on top of it. Easy to manufacture, easy to storage. They have moving parts, robotic parts within. They don't look pretty on the inside, and we don't care about that. It's really just the exterior shell. So again, it's not an overly expensive thing to manufacture. When you move on to a robot, you've got so many little pieces and moving parts and rounded shapes that have to be first manufactured and then put together. That is an extremely expensive manufacturing lift. Again, my years of working with GE and Kohler, you kind of get the nuances of manufacturing processes and how things are assembled. And I just see it's being really hard to manufacture en masse. And then get this, when you have a moving part, let's say you have a walking robot and the left knee is functioning correctly, but the right knee starts to slow down a little bit and there's some mechanical issues, you're going to have an awkward walking robot, and it could essentially turn into a $10,000 plus paperweight in the middle of your living room. Like, that's the reality of this situation. When I'm walking through manufacturing processes and what could happen here with these robots, I tell you this, I'm not going to be the first person standing in line to buy one of them. I'm going to see what kind of bugs are worked out, and then maybe down the road, probably not, but we'll see. Am I going to jump out of my seat for a robot in my home where we already have robots? Again, dishwasher, washing machine, dryer. They're great. They've been around forever. They're consistent, reliable. They're not going anywhere. Anyway, just my 2 cents on Tesla's products. I think they've done good work over the years, especially their cars. They're high quality. But where I see Tesla going here in the future, I do have to agree with these large financial institutions. I don't have a lot of confidence. If you stayed to the end, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Referrals from friends are one of the best ways to build a business. If you want to see the ratings on Tesla and other stocks in the market, you can join Tykr for free. And of course, don't buy and sell stocks based solely on what you hear. Only buy and sell stocks that align with your own personal financial goals. Thanks for checking out this video. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.